Hello, welcome back to the Off-Grid family. Today we're going to make our snake a nice little vivarium. I've got only recycled stuff. Some of the wood's new, some of the wood's old, but the rest of it is recycled. I'm using glass from our greenhouse and then wood that's been lying around for a long time. Ironically enough, I bought a few pieces of wood for this because I didn't have enough, and that's more bent and warped than the wood I've had for probably 3 years. But such is life. I've used my new table saw to cut little channels in all of the wood, and that is for where the glass will be going, and I'll show you that being done now. What I did was I've measured all of the glass pieces to make sure they're all the same, and they are. And what I've now managed to do is work out all of the different sizing and gone from there. And now with this sort of, the way I've done it, I haven't needed a tape measure. I have used one, but you don't need one if you don't have one. All you need to know how to do, number one, is use a table saw, or you could get away with using a router. You just need something that you can do a groove down the center of a piece of wood. You can buy this, I believe, but with wood prices as they are, probably going to cost you £10,000. Right, so I'll show you where we are at this point and how I got there. It's pretty straightforward as such. Let's get on. Okay, so the sizes are on the screen now, and all I've done is I've cut them for the sizes for the longest edge, and then they're cut 45 degrees, and this is so that I can make frames which I then lock glass into. They have also had a channel cut down them for the glass to slide into. Next thing I want to do is get a few of these staples out. There's a few. This is a lot of this is second-hand wood, and then the bits that are all warped, that's brand new wood, but it was all they had. Right, so this is all my wood that I've got, and each piece is cut at a 45-degree angle on both ends, and having the groove on the least part, let's say. In English that would probably be said in a different way, but my brain isn't functioning right now. Okay, and these, all I've done is this here is the glass I'm using, and it's 2 sheets of glass from my greenhouse, and all I did was measure the wood against it so that the 45-degree angles go into the edge of each piece of the glass. So basically now I then did the next bit, which was the length of the glass. This is really hard to all get into frame. And then obviously I've made a 2 that were the length. And 1 for the side. So from just measuring into the corner of the lowest edge of the 45-degree angle, and here up to the glass. That way I knew it would all stick together. There might be a little bit of excess. And basically I just did that for every edge, and now I can stick this together and place the glass inside it, and that's one side of the vivarium. I've got done that twice, so I can do that for both sides, and then this is going to be the other sides, the smaller sides, which are just going to be one piece of glass, wide and high. Right, so I can do it in a smaller profile so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me just grab these. 1, 2, where's the other? There it is. This here, I'm going to, with all of these pieces, I'm going to do a top and a bottom and a side. I'm going to glue and, let me try and get that in. I'm going to glue and nail these together as square as possible. As you can see, some of the wood is bowed quite badly. And then I'm going to slide the glass sheet in, and then I can put the other side on. Again, gluing it and nailing it together. The nails are just going to be more pins just to hold it there while the glue sets. Right, I'm going to get the staples out, and then I'm going to stain it all. I've bought a big tub of stain because I've got loads of different things I want to stain throughout the house. So I'm going to use all the same colour. Okay, so the next job is to connect 3 of these pieces together. The top, bottom and side piece. And then we can slide the glass in. For some extra support on the 2 wide pieces of glass, I've cleaned up the glass edges and I've got a piece of wood to then stick between it, and it just sticks both pieces of glass together, making them one cohesive lump basically. I'm using the same silicone sealant that I'm going to be using for the entirety of the build, you know, for waterproofing the edges, etc. And yeah, very simple, very messy process. But very necessary, because otherwise it would not be strong enough to be able to be moved around or anything like that, because of the 2 pieces of glass can just, you know, move against each other and it would chip and flake and so on. So all I do is I stick it down and then nail it very carefully. This bit scared the heck out of me because I was just worried that I was going to go straight into the glass. But once I've done this, I'll just turn it over, do the other side, and that's that. It's strengthened and, you know, hopefully much stronger. I'm going to actually put some filler all the way down the edges, some waterproof filler, and then that part of it is done and I'm pretty happy with that. Right, it's time to start connecting them together, and I had bought some angle brackets to connect this all together like so, but I've lost them. I've sorted my whole room out and they've just disappeared. I've looked everywhere and I can't really afford to buy any more, so I got these off an old bed or something like that, so I'm going to actually have to use these and connect them like that. Right, I'll screw that in. Oh, one thing to say: be very careful if you're following along with this. Be very careful, because you do not want to screw into the glass. Even the slightest bit of downward pressure from a screw this way will just shatter the entire lot, so be really careful. Right, that's the whole top section screwed in and the sides glued, but that glue's more temporary. It's just to hold it all together and give it a bit more security. When I put the floor on, that will then clamp the bottom down, so the top and bottom are, you know, as secure as possible. But I need to leave it to dry for a bit. Right, I've cut these 2 pieces to the size I need them, and now I'm going to glue all the way around the outside, and then I'm going to nail along the edge with the nail gun. And I will do a few screws just to hold it there, but hopefully the glue will do the majority of the holding. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. Now I leave it to dry. Right, now this is the bottom edge, and this is obviously a chipboard horribleness. So we're going to cover it up with this, and I ummed and ahed about staining it, but I think the difference in colour contrast will be quite nice. So all I'm going to do is get some wood glue, and then I'm just going to pin it there with my little nail gun, just to let the glue dry on it, and then that should be done. I've actually cut them at 45 degrees, find a piece, so that they will fit together quite nicely. Although that piece isn't actually quite that good because I cut it a little bit short, but we won't talk about that. Right, easy. Okay, there it is, and as you'll see, there's big gaps all along and stuff. Nothing in this is properly square. It's awful, but it works, so I don't care. Next we need a roof on it, because it's not a very good vivarium without one. I found some more suitable hinges that I put on, so I've just cut this block out. I will stain it all the way around, and that can be plonked there just to hide the holes, and it just, I don't know. And then I'm going to restain over those holes and they should disappear quite well. Okay, the next thing I'd like to do is fit this handle. This is reclaimed from an old cupboard. I've got loads of that kind of thing lying around. Okay, so it's nearly done. We are basically putting the finishing touches on. And I want to put one thing on now. Some super cheap draft excluder foam. Hang on. This stuff. And I want to put a bit all around the edge. Just so that any heat in there will stay in there a little better. Okay, I've made this little stop for the door, which is pretty straightforward. It's just a rounded off piece of wood with a screw in it. And I'm just going to put another little screw in just here to stop it like falling down further. And basically you just lift this up and it will hold the lid up basically. Very, very simple. Again though, just be very careful drilling into the side where the glass is. But there it is working, and it does work pretty well, which is awesome. And here it is, all set up ready for our little person, or nearly. And there she is in there, little Mr. Biscotti she's called. And she really does like it. Obviously this is sped up, this is not how she moves normally. Before I say my outro, I'd just like to thank Paul, our newest Patreon, second ever Patreon. The money is awesome and really does help the project, but also it sort of psychologically helps too, because it means that what we're doing is worthwhile and people really want to see it. So that is super duper appreciated. Thank you so much. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I really do hope this helped some of you, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.